Good morning, students. So, we will be discussing today the last part of our bioethics module, and this is your bioethics committees and organizations. You know that when you go for our specific rules and guidelines of your bioethics, right, you should also have some regulatory bodies, the bodies which will impose you the rules and regulation and the ethical issues which are being imposed on various techniques. So today we will be discussing that. So the first point over here is your International Bioethics Committee of UNESCO. So in 1993, UNESCO created an International Bioethics Committee, and it concerned about the various social, legal, economical issues. So they have basically discussed or looked up the social, legal, cultural, economic issues. So arising from the advancement of the research and technology in the field of biotechnology. So you know that since the discovery of DNA, humanity has learned to materialize, the vital functions and mechanisms of genes. So with that power, now the researcher can do anything, can manipulate the gene like any way. So that is why International Bioethics Committee was formed, and the various tasks of Bioethics Committee is as follows. So it is as follows. First is to promote reflection on the ethical and legal issues raised by the research in the area of life science and the agriculture. First is awareness. You have to be aware that what you are doing is correct or not. So this is the very important thing, that you have to give a reflection on the ethical and legal issues raised by the research. To encourage action to increase awareness among the general public. So you have to aware it among the general public, specialized group, private sectors, public sectors, right? The decision makers involved in the bioethics. So you know that if you don't aware the individual that you have to choose between a GM food and a wild type variety, they will never be able to distinguish the two. So that is why awareness is very, very essential. To cooperate with the international government and the various NGOs concerned by the field, raised in the field of bioethics. So you have to cooperate with the NGOs who is actually working with the bioethics, the international government who is working with the bioethics, right? To contribute in spreading set out in the Universal Declaration on the Human Genetics and Human Rights. So spreading principles set out in the Universal Declaration on Human Genetics and Human Rights. To make necessary recommendation into general conference or practice that can target human dignity. So you have to tell them, individual, that what is basically affecting human dignity. To spread public awareness in genetic testing, gene therapy, genetic counseling of neuroscience, population genetics. So there are many people who are prone to genetic disorders, but they don't go for genetic counseling. So how counseling is important for them? When to do gene therapy? When to do genetic testing, and how important it is has to be put forward into the society. To focus on problems such as confidentiality of genetic data, pre-implantation of genetic diagnosis. Pre-implantation genetic diagnosis is one of the very important aspects. The one who undergoes in vitro fertilization, that is being done in an artificial way. So sometimes the chromosomes get, some chromosomal aberrations occur, right? Some chromosomal anomalies occur. So for that, before implantation of the embryo, you have to test their genes. So that is your genetic testing and patenting of genes. Next, International Association of your Bioethics, IAB. IAB is associated with the study of ethical, social, legal and philosophical and other related issues arising in the area of healthcare and biological sciences. IAB is the leading international organization bringing other researchers in the area of bioethics. So objectives of IAB: to facilitate contact and information exchange between professionals and organizations engaged in the area of bioethics. So you have to collaborate between the professionals and the organization engaged in the area of bioethics, to encourage research and teaching in bioethics, and to enable free and open discussion on various issues on bioethics through international conferences. So through international conferences, you have to put forward the issues to everybody, right? Then only there will be some planned decision. Next is International Bioethics Survey. Conducts various surveys to gauge people's opinion about how they are thinking about the ethical and moral issues of the advancement of biotechnology. So this particular thought has to come from every individual. So you have to do the survey to find out what other people are thinking about it. Issues ranging from in vitro fertilization to screening genes to predict the future possibility of the disease, everything is taken into account. Now, in 1993, a survey was performed in 10 countries: Australia, Hong Kong, India, Israel, Japan, New Zealand, Russia, Singapore. The major objective was to find out what the layman thinks and feel about the disease, life, nature, genetic engineering and related products and gene therapy. So it is not the individuals who know it. The individuals who know it very well, they can understand the importance. But what about the layman? How they feel? Will they go for gene therapy? Will they go with the genetic engineering? So whether they know it or not, these things are taken into account. And the results showed that the people in different countries shared more than similar views and issued mentioned in the survey. So this is very important for bioethics to balance good and harm, and the survey that the people are capable of doing this. Support was seen in favor of disease-resistant crop, cleaning of oil spills, while most were against genetic engineering for fun, like that of designer baby and other things. So if it is a genetic engineering like oil degrading bacteria Pseudomonas butida, which is called as your superbug, so if it is that, then it is absolutely okay. But if it is not that, if it is, you say that genetic engineering for fun, then that is quite unethical. So the responsibility of each nation is to develop social educational system that allows this dividing an individual perception. Next, another important organization, EuropaBio. EuropaBio is a non-profitable organization created in 1996 to provide a voice to the biotech industry at the European Union level. It is an association of bio-industries that has 62 corporate and 7 associated members. The main objective of the organization is promotion of novel and dynamic biotech industry, contributing to responsible use of this science and its potential for human and environment, and fostering good bioethic practices among European Biotechnology Society. So these are the 3 different objectives of your EuropaBio. So that was one of the associated factors, or one of the important aspects of your bioethics. Next is EuropaBio core ethical value. The core ethical value catered adopted by EuropaBio is priority to health, safety and environment during research and development, manufacture and distribution. So health is the prime priority. Commitment to socially responsible use of biotechnology with response to human dignity and respect. So with human dignity and respect we will use biotechnology, otherwise not. Treatment of animal with minimal pain and distress. No support for human cloning. They don't support human cloning. Protect of confidentiality of medical information of the patient, including genetic information if genetic testing is done. provision of applicable information to patient before and after genetic testing, support for improvement of crop by genetic engineering for better quality food and hence world food supply is enhanced, sustainable use of plant material for the production of bio-based products, support for current bans on human germline therapy. So current bans, human germline therapy cannot be done. Somatic therapy can be done, but germline could not be done. So this was the end of this chapter, which is your bioethics and social legal ethical issues and your bioethics committee. So we will be discussing in our doubt clearing session if you have any doubts.